So Jimmy Kimmel, man, who was a late night show host, he was let go. He was let go for something he said on his show, man, about Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a conservative that was killed, in front of people, and Charlie Kirk was a big figure to a lot of people. You know what I mean? A lot of people, big figure, and but then again, there was some people that really, really disagree with what Charlie Kirk said. A lot of stuff that he debated about with other students in college and stuff like that. So it was 50-50. So it's like now in today's society, man, after Charlie Kirk's death, it's like anybody who kind of goes against what Charlie Kirk said, or if you talk down on whatever Charlie Kirk is, if you say anything bad about him, man, you're gonna get fired from your job. People gonna talk about you. You know what I mean? People might even want to harm you. You know what I mean? Because of what you might say or what you have said about Charlie Kirk's situation. And don't get me wrong, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I didn't know never heard of him until after what I saw what happened, that he got killed, which is sad. But I ended up doing a little bit of research to really know, like, why is this guy so famous? Like, why everybody so uproar about this guy? So I did a little research, and some of the videos that I seen, it wasn't really good. It really wasn't good in my opinion. Some of the stuff that he said, I didn't agree with him. You know what I mean? But he was a family man, he was Christian, and have kids and stuff like that. So I do respect that and understand some of his values. But a lot of stuff that he talked about, man, I really wasn't a fan of. So, like I say, anything you say now about Charlie Kirk, man, you have to really be careful because free speech is kind of going out the window now. You know what I mean? Free speech is kind of going out the window now. And so we have Jimmy Kimmel, who was fired about 2 days ago.
Disney and the ABC network are taking Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely. This follows a controversy over comments the late night comedian made Monday night about Charlie Kirk's suspected killer and the MAGA movement and their reaction to the assassination. Let's get straight to CNN's chief media affairs correspondent, Brian Stelter. Brian, what is going on?
That's right. This is fast developing this afternoon, Jake, amid pressure from the Trump-aligned FCC. And in the past few minutes, ABC confirmed to CNN that Kimmel's show will be off the air, quote, indefinitely. We have not yet heard from Kimmel or his representatives. That's how quickly this has been developing. But let's back up and look at what Kimmel actually said on the program that has caused controversy. This is from Monday night in his Monday evening monologue. Kimmel suggested that the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk might have been a pro-Trump Republican. He said, quote, the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. He said in between the finger pointing, there was grieving. Kimmel was expressing what we've heard some other liberals say in recent days, that the motives are unclear and that maybe the suspect in this case was a Republican or was some sort of far-right fringe figure. Of course, there has been a lot of discussion about that in recent days. There's a lot of evidence pointing in other directions about the suspect. But Kimmel was on the air talking about this, making a very serious commentary amid his jokes in his monologue Monday night. Here's where it became interesting earlier today. The FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, went on a far-right webcast and condemned Kimmel and urged ABC to suspend him. He also talked about possible regulatory punishments of Disney because there are lots of different stations that have licenses with the FCC. Within the past hour, we've heard from a big owner of stations that have affiliations with ABC, a company called Nexstar, saying that they were going to suspend Kimmel's show on their stations. So in other words, about 24 stations were refusing to air Kimmel's show tonight as a result of this controversy. And then, following word that some of those stations were basically revolting against Kimmel, Disney, the parent company of ABC, decided to yank the show entirely. So that's all we know at the moment. We know that Kimmel will not be on the air tonight or for the foreseeable future because the network says the show has been yanked off the air indefinitely.
Brian, just to take one issue, your interpretation of what Kimmel said, I think, is the one that Brendan Carr had and the one that the individuals at Nexstar have. But what he said specifically was, quote, the MAGA gang is desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. That can be read in several ways. That could be heard in several ways. It could also be it could also be argued he's saying that what the MAGA gang is doing is just trying to make sure that they don't have any ownership of it, not necessarily that this killer, this horrible person, was part of them. I mean,
I think you're making a very important point.
Yeah,
you're making a very important point. And let's take it a little bit step further. This was all on Monday night. Nobody seemed to notice this yesterday, Jake. This all erupted in the past few hours when the Trump-aligned FCC chairman decided to point at it. Now, I've heard from him in the past few minutes, Brendan Carr, thanking Nexstar for doing the right thing by yanking the show. He has not yet commented on ABC.
So let's look at what Jimmy said, man. Let's see if I can pull it up on Twitter. What Jimmy Kimmel actually said and what really got him fired. So this is what Jimmy Kimmel said right here.
This kid who murdered Charlie Kirk is anything other than... We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
So that right there was basically why he got fired. Basically making fun of Donald Trump as well and saying the MAGA, you know what I'm saying, Trump supporters, you know what I mean, make America great supporters. And these last few days, man, ever since Charlie Kirk got killed, man, it's like left versus right, right versus left. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because it's like, why can't we just say, you know what? This guy did a terrible, terrible thing in killing somebody just for speaking. You know what I mean? Even though I wasn't a fan, a lot of people not a fan of what Charlie Kirk was saying, that don't give you the right to want to harm this guy, kill this guy, and leave just his wife and 2 kids behind. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a fan. You don't have to like the guy, but that don't mean you got to go out and kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it's like Jimmy Kimmel and Donald Trump been at it ever since Donald Trump was running for president. You know what I'm saying? And why he was president also. You know, and Jimmy Kimmel is basically like a comedian. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not condoning anything what Jimmy Kimmel said, but the stuff that he said wasn't, in my opinion, I don't think it was really too hard of what, you know what I mean? What for him to get fired, you know what I'm saying? In my opinion, you know, but Donald Trump also tweeted. So this is the tweet right here. He said, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show was canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, 2 total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC, President DGT." You see what it said? Do it, NBC. So in my eyes, that kind of proves that, you know, a lot of these businesses, man, and we already seen that a lot of these businesses, anything kind of Donald Trump says, they do it because they don't want the backlash from Donald Trump to tweet something and Donald Trump supporters to give the business bad ratings and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically why, another reason why Jimmy Kimmel got fired. And also Nexstar and Disney, they all trying to merge also. So you know what I'm saying? With Jimmy Kimmel being fired and Donald Trump on their side, they about to be a billion, multi-billion dollar industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're already a billion dollar industry, but this right here kind of proves that, you know, business is business. You know, and Jimmy Kimmel, man, and this kind of like this free speech situation going on with comedians, can't really say stuff. Nobody can really say anything. You know, and I don't condone anybody saying that they wished and happy that the guy Charlie Kirk got killed. No. Not at all. Now, if somebody's saying stuff like that right there, then yes, they need to be fired. You know what I mean? Especially situations where we got teachers saying certain stuff, you know what I mean? They being fired, but if anybody's saying that Charlie Kirk is they happy that he's dead, such and such, yeah, he should have done. No, man, they shouldn't say that. Only thing I think people should say is like, you know what? I don't agree with the guy. I didn't like him. I didn't agree with nothing he said. He just spewed hate out his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Say stuff like that, but don't wish the guy death. You know what I mean? But listen, man, that's all I got on that situation, yo. Y'all tell me what y'all think about the whole situation, yo.